If you are renting in Colorado Springs and have been wondering what it would actually cost to own a home, then this video is for you. I'm Zach Circo, licensed realtor with eXp Realty. I've lived in Colorado for over 20 years, and working with first-time home buyers is one of my favorite parts of the business. So let's say you're currently renting for around $2,500 a month, and you're comfortable going up to $3,000 a month if you owned. The question is, what does $3,000 a month actually buy you? What do the numbers actually look like? So your monthly mortgage payment is made up of four things. We call it PITI, P-I-T-I. Now that stands for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Your principal and interest rate are locked in at whatever rate you close at. They don't change unless you refinance. But your property taxes and homeowners insurance can shift year to year as values and insurance markets move. Now, before we get into the numbers, quick disclaimer, everything I'm about to show you is a rough estimate. I built this tool using AI, and it's pulling average property taxes, average insurance costs, and current market interest rates for Colorado Springs. It'll give us a solid ballpark, but your actual numbers depend on your specific situation. When you're ready to get something more accurate, send me a message. I'll run your real numbers and connect you with a lender who can go even deeper. All right, let's get into it. So let's start with the affordability calculator. So here we can see our home price at the top. We can see our payment breakdowns. So here's the PITI we talked about: principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And we have our desired monthly payment. So like we talked about, we're going to use an example of a desired monthly payment of $3,000 a month. You can see that that changed our estimated purchase price. We also see here interest rates. So interest rates are all over the news right now. Right now for June 2026, we're in the mid to high sixes for interest rates. Working with me, I have some awesome local lenders. They're going to work with you to get you the best rate. And so our target for this example is going to be 6.5% for our interest rate. And now the other important piece of the home buying process is estimating your down payment. Now, we also want to factor in closing costs. That's separate. I'll do a different video on closing costs later. Right now, let's just focus on our down payment. We can look at down payment as either a percentage or a dollar amount. Now, this is very important. A 20% down payment, a lot of people are used to hearing, oh, you need to put 20% down on a home. Now, well, that is great. And if you see this green bar up here, it says there's no PMI. If you put 20% down, it eliminates the mortgage insurance. So what is that? So PMI stands for private mortgage insurance. This is a payment that you make to the bank because you're not able to put 20% down. Now, most first-time home buyers I work with cannot put 20% down because, as you can see here, that's just over $100,000. So for our down payment, our typical goal is somewhere between 3 and 5%. Now, once again, this is just an estimate. This is just to give you guys an idea of how this works, because an FHA loan, you might be able to put 3.5% down. Typically for a conventional loan, you're looking around 5% down. With some of my local lenders, I can actually get you down to 3% down payment. And then if you're a veteran using a VA loan or active military, you might be able to put 0% down. So like I said, if you want to talk specific numbers, definitely reach out to me. For this example, first-time home buyer, our down payment that we're going to target is going to be 3%. Now look at what that did to our maximum purchase price. So now we're at 382, and we have PMI here. So our tool is estimating PMI of $340 a month. That seems a little high. We're going to look at another example here shortly, but watch what happens once again if I change our down payment to 20%. Boom, PMI goes away, our max purchase price goes way up. But once again, for first-time home buyers, 3% down payment, very doable. Right here, a 3% down payment is somewhere around $11,000 to $12,000. If we're looking at homes up to $400,000, keeping our monthly payment around $3,000. So what are we looking at here? The last piece of the equation that a lender will want to know is what your credit score is. When you actually go to get pre-approved, they're going to run your credit. Now let's say that you are not doing as well as you'd like with your credit. You're in the low 600s. Watch what happens to the affordability up top. If I hit 620 for my estimated credit score, it's going to lower that affordability. But let's say you're knocking it out of the park, you're paying your bills on time, you really don't have much debt, and your credit score is in the high 700s. Boom. We are looking at a higher purchase price and potentially more affordability. So we're going to stick with the higher credit score because in this market, you want to make sure that your finances are looking really solid to get pre-approved and go out into this market and purchase a home. So we've got a 3% down payment, 760 credit score. We're looking at a traditional 30-year conventional loan, 6.5% interest, $3,000 desired monthly payment. That down payment is 3% or $12,000. So our estimated max purchase price is about $406,000. Keep in mind that that is including your private mortgage insurance. So now we know that a $3,000 a month payment, if all of these numbers look good, we should be able to go out and look at homes around $400,000. Now that's going to be our max. So we don't want to get stuck looking at homes that are 420, 450, 500. We want to really focus on what we can afford. Now we can go a little over 400,000 because right now in this market, if you find something that's sitting on the market longer, you might be able to negotiate the price down or get some concessions to help lower your monthly payment. So let's look at another calculator that I've built. This is our monthly payment breakdown. Once again, we have our $400,000 purchase price here. We have our down payment of $80,000. Now we're going to change that. So down payment, we're going to go back to 3% down. Interest rate, once again, I worked with awesome lenders, so we're going to aim for that 6.5% interest rate. We have great credit at 760. And we are factoring in our PMI. So once again, these are all just kind of rough estimates, but once again, we can look at our payments the other way and we can see that our estimated monthly payment is about just under $3,000. Now let's say you're curious what a monthly payment would look like at $450,000. So if we click on the $450,000 and we keep it at that 3% down payment, then our down payment increases to about $13,500. Interest rate, we're going to shoot for 6.5%. We still have 760 credit score. Monthly HOA, we're going to take that off. And so let's say we can afford just a little bit more than $3,000 a month. Maybe we can shoot for that $3,300 a month. We might be able to afford a home closer to $450,000. Now, my job is not to get you to go over a payment that you are comfortable with. My job is to show you the numbers so that you are comfortable with the numbers, comfortable with that monthly payment, so you're really comfortable at the closing table getting the keys to your house. So the purpose of this is to get you guys really comfortable with those numbers. Now, how does this actually apply in the market? Let's go take a look. Okay, so for this example, we're going to go to Zillow.com, which I am not a huge fan of, but a lot of people use it. It is very user-friendly, and it's what most people are comfortable with. So if we scroll down, I see 2 homes here, 3 beds, 2 baths. That's awesome. Both are listed at $400,000. So let's click on this one. This looks like a nice home. It's got a big 2-car garage, nice big driveway, 3 beds, 2 baths. That's great. No HOA, built in 1983. I love that. Typically, I like to look at homes that are built in 1980 or newer because that's when code really got up to date. And there are actually some really good incentives on new construction homes right now. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely shoot me a message. Yeah, it looks like a nice big backyard, nice big deck, maybe a little bit of a mountain view. So let's see how this breaks down. Now, this is the first thing I want to flag with Zillow. One of the reasons I don't like Zillow is because it's going to kind of bait you with a pretty low monthly payment. So it's estimating the payment here at $22.80 per month. Now, based on the calculator we just looked at, that seems pretty low, pretty different than what we're looking at. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down. First thing I want to show you is when you're looking on Zillow, it's going to show you how many days it's been on the market. So this has been on the market for 48 days. Typically in Colorado Springs right now, homes are on the market about 50, maybe 60 days on average. So if you start looking at homes that are over that, Hopefully that means the seller is getting more motivated and will actually cover some of your closing costs. For the map, this is actually up around Briargate. I believe this is in District 20, which is awesome schools. Northern Colorado Springs, really clean, really nice. Love this area. So definitely something I would want to show a first-time home buyer. But if we scroll down, 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 we start getting into how the monthly payments break down. So here you can see that $22.80 per month. They're factoring in principal, interest, property taxes, and homeowners insurance. So what's going on here? Well, if we click on this principal and interest, this is really important. A drop down shows that the home price is $400,000, but the down payment is $80,000. Now, once again, I don't work with a lot of first-time home buyers that have $80,000 in cash to put down. If you can get a gift, maybe from a family member, for that down payment, sure, we can put that down. But in this example, we're going to stick to our 3% down payment, which is about $12,000. And then once again, Zillow is estimating fairly low for the interest rate. 6.3 is not impossible, definitely a goal of ours when you're getting pre-qualified. But in this market, 6.5% is pretty typical for the interest rate. Like I said, Zillow will kind of bait you with lower numbers. Well, look at what that did to the payment. Now we're up to our $3,000 per month, which is what we were originally looking for, was about a $3,000 payment. But it is now factoring in that mortgage insurance, which Zillow's estimating around $310. So wrapping this all up together, we are looking at about a $3,000 per month monthly payment, factoring in all of our costs that are very realistic. And this should be able to afford us about a $400,000 house. So let's maybe look at one more example. So we've got Colorado Springs. I'm going to take off my prices I have here. And so we know we can afford up to $400,000. And working with me, we know that ideally if we can get a 3-bed, 2-bath home, those are one of the best for resale. And then looking at our Colorado Springs map, Northern Colorado Springs has been really desirable, really popular. And so let's see here. Cottonwood Creek, I love this area. Here's one for $375. It's not on a busy street. Let's see what we're looking at. Awesome, 1,750 square feet. Kind of funky with the carpet and the paint, but hey, that's equity that we can work on. We can get that wall painted. We can get that carpet swapped out to some nice laminate flooring, kind of like what matches in this kitchen. Yeah, it's a first-time home, so this is something that once again we could look at, and it's $375. 4 beds, so you're getting the extra bed and the extra bathroom, so that is awesome, and you're getting a little bit more square footage for a little bit less. So definitely something worth looking at. I do like this area. Once again, the estimated payment is right around $2,100 per month. We know that Zillow is baiting us with that number. Built in 1981, we love that. This has only been on the market 6 days. At this price, I could see this moving pretty quickly. 81 saves, over 1,200 views. This listing will move pretty quick. So let's see what our actual payments would look like. Once again, principal and interest. Zillow is assuming that you have $75,000 in cash to put down, but we're a first-time home buyer. So let's say we can scrape up a little bit more cash and put 5% down. And now the down payment is about $18,000. Interest rate, I'm going to keep that at 6.5 just to keep things really realistic. And now we're looking at a estimated payment of $2,750. So if our comfortable payment is $3,000 a month and we can save a little bit, then now we can take that extra money and put that towards either utilities or something else, maybe paying off some extra debt. But this is a really good example. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is if we put 5% down, which is $18,000 or just over $18,000, our payment is $2,750. Now let's say, well, Zach, I don't know, maybe I just want to keep a little bit of cash in my pocket. in case there's an emergency, if I have to make a repair after moving in. And on that note, I help first-time home buyers with home warranties. So if a repair comes up in that first year, I want to make sure I'm helping you guys with that. But let's say you want to save a little cash and stick to that 3% down payment. So now our down payment's around $11,000. So you're keeping around $6,000, $7,000, maybe $8,000 in your pocket. Now our payment is $2,850. So our monthly payment went up by about $100 a month. Keep in mind, we can always refinance later. But now I've got an extra $6,000 or $7,000 in my pocket. This is going to help me keep some money in the bank for emergencies, or if I need to, replace a sofa, or replace that carpet when we move in. There's lots of different ways to do this. But once again, great home in Colorado Springs, just hit the market, 4 beds, 3 baths. This would be something that I would love to show a first-time home buyer. So if you guys have questions and want to dive deeper into the numbers for your specific situation, definitely shoot me a message and I'm happy to reach out. All right, guys, have a great day and I'll talk to you soon.